Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. I think we're having an okay MLB night. I know the Royals lost, but Toast didn't even pick the Royals. That was my pick, and it lost. I think we're slightly above 500. I'll keep you posted. But anyway, UFC card tomorrow night. A lot of fights. I brought on Justin Morieko, a.k.a. the Judge from MMA Court. He's going to give you 5 free picks in this video. And then for VIPs tomorrow, I'll be posting it on the app. He's giving out a parlay and his top 3. So 5 free picks right here. Then tomorrow on the app, top 3 picks and a parlay. Let's dive in. Welcome to The Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
What's up, everyone? Justin here from MMA Court, coming straight at you on the Sauce's channel because today we're gonna make some MMA picks. It's something I don't do on my channel personally, but I'm gonna guest star here and I'm gonna make some picks for you guys for this weekend's upcoming event. The main event being Alexander Volkov versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. So that is going to be my first pick of the day. I am going to have to go with Alexander Volkov over Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and there's a couple of reasons why. I'll give them to you right now. The first reason is this: distance management, something that Alexander Volkov has always been so good at, using his long jab and his front kick to keep people away from him. There really hasn't been anybody that has finished him in the UFC. One of the only people that comes off the top of my head is Derrick Lewis, and that was at the very end, in the last 10 seconds of the last round of the fight. Derrick Lewis landed a 1-2 and put Alexander Volkov on his back and finished him off with ground and pound. There's not many people that have been able to do something like that to Alexander Volkov. Jairzinho Rozenstruik tends to be very timid in his fights. He's got a lot of power in his hands, and he definitely knows how to kickbox very well. But the problem I have with his performances usually are he doesn't like to engage a lot. He's definitely much more of a counter puncher and likes to put guys down when they come in after him. It's something that Alexander Volkov doesn't tend to do, is rush in and actually take people on head first. He likes to really pick you apart from the outside, use his range, and the fact that he is like 6'9", he likes to use his long limbs to keep you at a distance. I believe it's going to be Alexander Volkov winning this fight by a decision, because there's no one in the UFC, I don't think there's anybody that has finished Jairzinho Rozenstruik except for Francis Ngannou. Something that, I mean, let's be honest here, everybody that fights Francis Ngannou usually tends to get finished, except for the last one with Cyril Gane. Moving on to the co-main event, this is going to be my second pick. We have Dan Ige versus Movsar Evloev. It's very hard to pronounce his name. Now, Movsar Evloev is 15-0 right now. He is definitely a very strong up-and-comer. Dan Ige is someone who has been right in the top 10 for quite some time now. He would have a couple of wins and then he'll have a rough loss. He'll have a couple of wins and then have a rough loss. It's a guy who is very good, well-rounded, pretty much can fight you anywhere that he wants. So nothing that really stands out as being incredible, like he's got one-punch knockout power, although he does have a one-punch knockout finish that happened, I believe, 2 fights ago. But besides that, there usually seems to be a lot of decision wins for Dan Ige in recent history, or in some cases, a decision loss. Now, Dan Ige went toe-to-toe with Calvin Kattar and lived to tell the tale. That says something to me. The guy is very, very durable, and like I said, he is very good all around. Now, Movsar, we haven't seen a lot from this guy just yet. Granted, he is 15-0, and I believe he's one of the only people that's undefeated in the division. That really does say something. Someone being in the UFC and being undefeated, it really is a miracle to do that. I mean, even the champion, he only has 1 loss, but granted, it's not at the weight class at featherweight. It is at welterweight that he lost. So there's not many guys that are going around undefeated, and that does say something in the sport of mixed martial arts. But this guy specifically, something that needs to be addressed is his background in Greco-Roman wrestling, something that I believe is one of the best tools to have when being in a mixed martial arts fight. And it's a variety of reasons. One, sometimes when people are going for takedowns, they can't really get to the leg. But a lot of times, you got guys that are wrestling up top. As we know, Greco-Roman wrestling is something where you're not allowed to really attack the legs. It's upper body style throws, and with this guy specifically, it shows how strong he is, because once he gets a hold of somebody, it's really hard to get them off. Dan Ige has a good background in wrestling as well, but I don't believe he is going to go into this fight and out-wrestle Movsar. I think that Movsar is going to pretty much grab a hold of him, take him down with some kind of Greco-Roman wrestling throw, and then get on top of him and pretty much beat the living shit out of him. Now, I'm not saying that Dan Ige is a bad fighter by any means, but this new guy, Mobstar, seems to be someone who is probably going to be a title contender within the next year or so. Dan Ige has a lot of good potential behind him, and he's got a great coach down at Extreme Couture over in Vegas, but it's going to be a tough night for him. I hope that he practices takedown defense and not just regular wrestling, because like I said, this guy's come from Greco-Roman, so he's not going to be shooting for the singles and double legs. He's going to clinch him up against the fence, and he's probably going to try and toss him over his shoulder. I'm going to have to go with Mobstar, and I'm actually going to go with him over Dan Ige and winning as a decision. I don't see a lot of finishes happening tonight. Now, we move down the card a little bit further. I have another pick that I want to make, and it's Karen Silva versus Poliana Botelelo. I think that's how you say her name. Now, the reason I'm going to pick Karen Silva, there's not really too much of my expertise backing why I'm going to pick her over Poliana. There's a couple of things that are going to play into this. One, there's a little bit of an age gap. Poliana is 33 and Karen is 28. That does make a difference somewhat, especially when it comes to women down in the lower weight classes like this. They're fighting at flyweight, which is 125 pounds. Poliana hasn't had much success in her last 4 fights or so. She's had a rough time, and she hasn't really been that active. It's usually been a 1 fight a year type thing. Karen Silva's on her way up. I think it's just going to be pretty much, she's going to take her to the ground, and I have a big feeling that we are going to see a submission on this one. Karen Silva is going to win this one by submission over Poliana. That is my pick for that. Moving on to the next one. I just want to address this one. Alonzo Menefield is fighting a gentleman named Askar Mazhazarov. This gentleman, there's been some weird controversy going on here with this guy because his record was changed in the midst of this whole fight announcement. He had wins removed from his record. Now, I don't know why that is, but it's a little strange because, as Alonzo Menefield said in one of his interviews, he said, "This is a little strange because I'm a former professional football player, and when I want to look at tape on who I'm going up against, I do it, I look at the tape, it's for research purposes, I want to see what I'm going up against." And this gentleman seems to be not really visible on the internet. His record's being called into question here, and we really don't know why. This is one of those fights that normally I would stay away from, but you're getting a plus 200 on Askar. If he is as good as his record seems to indicate, he does have a lot of losses, but he has a lot of wins. And overall, he has a lot of experience. He's got over 30-something fights here between his wins and losses. If we're just going to go based off of experience, I would have to go with this guy, Askar, if his record is actually real, and you're getting him at a plus 200 over Alonzo Menefield. Now, Alonzo has shown that sometimes he does not have the gas tank needed to go all 3 rounds. If it goes out of the first round, I'm going to have to go with Askar on this one. Even though I don't know much about him, if his record and his experience is any indication of what's going on here, I can't pass up a plus 200 on a gentleman that seems to have problems with his gas tank sometimes in Alonzo Menefield. Now, if Alonzo cracks him in the first round, we might see something that'll happen quick and we see a quick knockout. If it doesn't happen that way, I'm going to have to go with this gentleman, Askar. I'm going to have to go with Askar. I don't know if it's going to be a knockout or a submission, but I would just take him on the money line, which is plus 200 right now. The line might move. Now, you move a little bit further up the card. We have another fight in Felice Herrig versus Carolina Kowalkiewicz. I think that's how you say her name. Now, Carolina she's been very up and down with her performances. I believe she's lost her last 4. Granted, it was all to very good fighters. Felice Herrig is someone who's been around for quite some time. She was on The Ultimate Fighter when the division at 115 was first introduced. She's not a horrible fighter by any means. There's a lot of people that think that she's awful, but she loses to a lot of girls that are very, very elite. Now, Felice tends to have a very good ground game. Carolina, she's going to have some trouble with Felice if this goes to the ground. I think Felice could possibly take her down and dominate her a little bit and probably get the submission. Now, if Felice was going against a very, very, very high-level black belt on the ground, then I would probably think otherwise. But Felice tends to be a little bit better than Carolina on the ground when it comes to this. I think Felice is going to be able to take her down, and if she does, I think we're going to see a little bit of a grind and possibly a submission victory for Felice Herrig. Right now, the money line, she's going off at minus 120. I would go with her as a win by submission. That is my pick for Felice Herring versus Carolina. All right, and we're gonna go to my next pick, and this is going to be my last one. This is actually going to be the very first fight on the prelims, and it is Erin Blanchfield versus JJ Aldrich. Erin Blanchfield, this girl, she's something special. She's 8-1 right now, and this girl has one hell of a grappling game. Her jiu-jitsu is top-notch, especially for a girl at this weight class. I believe that this is going to be pretty straightforward. JJ Aldrich is a good fighter, but we're seeing something different in Erin Blanchfield. I think she's going to come out. I think she's going to get this girl on her back, and I think that she's going to submit her, and it's probably going to be a submission by an armbar. You can't bet it specific like that, but I have a very strong feeling that Erin Blanchfield is going to take her down, and she is going to get the submission by armbar. Erin Blanchfield by submission is going up at plus 400 right now. I think she takes the victory, and I think she's going to make it somewhat look easy. JJ Aldrich, again, is a very good fighter, but I don't think she's going to have the level of grappling as Erin Blanchfield once this hits the canvas, which I believe it will. Those are my picks for the sauce. Don't forget to tune in to my channel at MMA Court. It's at MMA Court. Follow me on Instagram. It's MMA_court. I just got hacked recently, but I finally got it back. I have a backup account too called MMA.court also. Please go on there and follow us. Give us a like, subscribe to my channel, because I release videos not about betting specifically, because I leave that to the sauce, but I release videos on all the background of what's going on in mixed martial arts and what's happening in the world of mixed martial arts and all the fun that we're gonna have watching mixed martial arts. Don't forget to tune in to me, tune into the sauce. Every single week, we're doing fight picks for me. Every single week, we're doing fight picks for the sauce moving forward. Don't forget to log on and find me on Twitter too, because I'm gonna be going back and forth with people during the fights every single time there are UFC fights going on. So, talk to me on there, engage with me, and let me know what you think of my picks. Hopefully you win some money, because I know I want to. The judge is out and the case is closed.